Hello and welcome to WhatMap for Cities Skylines, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. There are thousands of items on the workshop now, so finding the right one for your next city build is a huge task. So each day, Monday to Saturday, we'll review some using our 5-star rating and the coveted seal of approval. So join me, fellow Skylines explorers, as we venture out to today's new land. Who am I? I'm BonBonB, and you are very, very welcome.
Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to an extra special, extra long WhatMap with me, BonBonB. I'm BonBonB, you're very, very welcome. Why is it extra long? Well, today I'm going to put a few things to rights from last week. Errors that were made, well, not just last week, but the week before as well. A map that I didn't get a chance to go back to last week. Basically, problems and issues that will be corrected at the start of today's show. If you're here for today's map review only, you may skip forward and miss the first 16 minutes and 20 seconds, so skip forward to 16 and 20, and that's where today's map review will start. But if you stick around, you'll see me partly eating humble pie, partly fixing some issues and matching up LUTs and stuff. It's gonna be a bundle of fun. I promise. I do promise. Anyway, hope you had a really good weekend. I certainly have done. And we're going to crack on today with the corrections. But before we do any of that, it is time for that timely daily reminder. That's right, hitting the like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. So thank you very much for your support. So the first of these two maps we need to take a look at, we need to go back to episode 585 of WhatMap and Momo Timbuktu's Ismet. Now, as reported on this one, there were multiple problems. Some of these have been corrected automatically and some of them we're going to have to correct on camera. First of all, the theme didn't load in 100% correctly. Parts of it were definitely right, but the cliff textures, which I have seen before, haven't loaded in properly. Well, this time I've loaded the map up exactly as I did before, no special measures or whatever, and if we come down to the area that was pointed out to me as a screenshot, it has actually loaded in correctly this time. Yes, the colours are wrong. I apologise. We will fix that in a moment. But yes, our alternative Mediterranean theme is the theme, and when it loads in and correctly loads in, it is even more glorious than it was before. I didn't have too much of a problem with it actually, but this is how it was intended by Momo Timbuktu. And then they'll have a little look over this area down here. Now, we've had a little problem just this week with anarchy and trees on the roads. And if I come down here to this little feature area, we had a little bit of a glitchy decal last time, which was missing, which now it's absolutely fine this time. We have actually got, if we want to be too precious about these things, got a little bit of a decal overlapping the boardwalk, and over here there is a little bit of decal gap. If you want to be too precious about these things, you could grumble about those. I'm not going to grumble about those. I just if I didn't mention it, then somebody in the comments would mention that I miss these things on the second fly through. But yes, so whatever was the issue with anarchy there has been corrected also. Weird, I don't know, I'm playing exactly the same settings as I normally do. The third thing though is the colours, and the colours are definitely out. It was explained to me that all you have to do is basically set the settings correctly and it would load absolutely 100%. So I've done this. We are using Al's alternative Mediterranean theme and the recommended LUT, which is the vanilla European. But if we come down here, and I'm going to try and match up the thumbnail which is on screen now in terms of position, so get my camera roughly in position there and hit that. Is that about right, do you think? I think that's about right. I think we're more or less on it. The game seems to have gone to slow mode, but let's not worry about that. Okay, so what we've got is the tones. The tones of the image are definitely a different set of tones. First thing I want to do though is the sun position, because sun position will change everything. If you go into sunset or whatever, then everything will change there. Now if I go into this option here and choose, this is ultimate eye candy, choose ambience. First of all, I'm going to get the sun into position using the latitude and longitude. So using this tree here, we can see that the shadow is being cast over, just over the edge of these two tunnels. So what I'm going to do is find that to about 56. So that's about the right setting there. And 114 is what I reckoned it was. Maybe no. Budge that over a bit. Where are we? It's trying to find the right spot. Where are we? Brings that round a little. Yeah, we're getting closer now. Budging it up a little bit more. I think that's roughly in the right angle. That's the right length. We need just to bring that back across to a little bit further and back a fraction. So I think we are now, I think the sun's in approximately the right position by this shadow on the tunnels. So that's stage 1. Stage 2 is the global light intensity and the ambient light intensity, and I figured, having pre-tested this one, about 5.4 for the global light and 0.69 for the ambient is going to be about the right light. Well, you're looking and saying, but the tones are still wrong. Yes, we are using the Vanilla European as recommended. I'm going to switch to the coastal. I'm still convinced that this screenshot was taken using the coastal theme. Watch the colour tones change as soon as I click load LUT. Right, okay, we're a bit dark, but you can see the tones have changed to a much darker, deeper tone. Now what I'm going to do to brighten things up is I'm going to go into relight. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch all of these settings up to the top 5 settings up to maximum. So light, brightness, gamma, contrast, temperature, and tint. Now, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking that is close. Especially if you look at the foliage here, that's really close. The colours of the rocks and the cliffs as well are pretty close. If anything, the contrast might be a bit too dark. We could try moving that down, but as much as I moved the contrast up and down, I couldn't find an exact about there. So not quite 100%. That's 95%, just under the 100%. If anything, though, we're losing a little bit of darkness in the rocks there. So this is why I'm figuring it is closer there. Looking at the rocks there, that's closer. This is a bit darker. So that's what I'm thinking there. But on top of that, the obvious call is if you look in the screenshot, we have definitely depth of field adjustments. So I'm going to go into the options, into the gameplay, into the graphics, and then the depth of field. I'm going to budge this up quite some way to about there. And now if I come into the full screen mode, we can see we've got the blur on the trees in the foreground. Still not exactly right. In fact, if anything, needs to be high because this tree is quite fuzzy in the image. Shall we do that? Shall we budge it up? Shall we budge it right the way up to the maximum? Shall we? I think we should. Just for interest's sake. So depth of field up to the maximum, and there. So yeah, I'm thinking that is much closer to the screenshot. The brightness, I think the tones of the green in the actual reservoir are much closer. I think the tones of the ground are much closer. Everything seems much closer than if we were to set everything back to where we were before. I'll let you rewind the video to compare and contrast. Let me come out of this mode, set the speed slider up a little bit so I can move about a bit. So yeah, we'll have a quick look at the map with these settings on. It is much clearer, much crisper. You can see the amount of effort I had to go to try and find something that is a close match to the map was quite some going. Okay, let's go and have a look at the coast. Shall we have a look at the coast? Shall we look at the essential lighthouse? It'd be wrong not to, wouldn't it? It would be so wrong not to. Oh no, there's not an essential lighthouse there. The lighthouse is over here, on this one over here. So we'll come down and have a little look at this little fella, and if we come in close enough, we get some really dramatic effects on that one. So yes, anyway, so that is Ismet by Momo Timbuktu. If we pull right the way back, we get a lovely view of the entire map, and that is, with those settings, much closer to how it should be. And the second map we need to take a quick look at is from Luca. He gave me permission to use his first name, thank you Luca, who we reviewed back in episode 595, tail end of last week. It was the one with all of the trees in the roads, and it didn't happen to me, it hasn't happened to anybody else. So anyway, I have reloaded the game with Prop and Tree Anarchy completely disenabled, so there can't possibly be any glitching. So I'm going to show you roads without trees. Point of note though is, having listened to your comments, those in the because I did ask for your feedback, those of you who responded in the comments, those who messaged me via Twitter, through Facebook, via Patreon, carrier pigeon, all of these options, the majority, and it's about a 75-25% swing in favour of leaving Anarchy as is. If there is any glitching, the point is that the trees don't have any reason to be under the roads anyway. The general rule is, if you're building a map, you put the roads down and then you build the trees around them. And if you are building it the other way around, if you're putting trees down and then you build the roads, well, in real life you would cut down the trees, you would demolish the trees, you wouldn't actually just put a road over a tree. So yeah, although they'd be killed very quickly by the concrete. So I'm going to, after this point on, leave Anarchy in the normal position, which doesn't normally cause me any problems. It's may just be a temporary mod glitch, it may be a conflict with another mod, I'm not sure. But if there are any trees under any roads, they will be marked down. Having said that, on this occasion, I'm going to gift an extra star for detailing, because it seems to be that I am about the only person. So out of sympathy, out of respect, because it is a really good map and the detailing is fine, and the glitch is possibly at my end. I don't know. I really don't know. But from now on, any trees that are under the roads that are showing through because of Anarchy, they will be marked down as they shouldn't be there anyway. They really shouldn't. But you're getting an extra star for detailing, bringing you up to 3 stars for detailing. It's probably a 4-star map, but hey. Speaking of detailing, there were a couple of things that I did miss though, and I was a bit upset about this first one, so I really want to show you this one before we crack on with today's review. And he has put a lovely church up here on the hill. Some of you I know don't like the fact if things have got too many assets or feature areas in them, it doesn't work for you. But it's not so much the church. I mean, the church and with the fire tower, you know, honestly, it's a nice church. It's a mighty fine bit of okay road networking around it. I don't have an issue with it. It's fine. What I liked though is the extra feature at the back. Genuinely, this isn't sarcasm, I liked this. I think it could be better. Okay, I think it could be better. And that is this viewing platform here. Okay, so we get up here, we go a little walk along the viewing platform, and then over the end of the viewing platform, you can look into the Park Life glory hole. There it is. It's a nice idea. What I would like though, is for this to be right on top of the glory hole. I'm not even sure if that's possible. Let me try it. I'm saying this is what I want, but yeah, something more like that, and then maybe we will let us raise it up a bit. So I would, there we go. That's the point that everything matches up. So we could still connect up a footpath or something to there, whether it be a raised boardwalk or something, and then the glory hole here, you get there and you can actually peer down over it. I think that looks better. than how you had it there, Luca. That's the. But I like the idea. The idea I was really big on. Then there was also I believe it's marked out airport somewhere. This map's so busy I can't find things. It's just so busy. What is going on? No, I can't find the airport, but it's here. It's marked out. It isn't actually. I'm determined to find this. Bear with me a second. Found it. I found it. Here it is. I think this is supposed to be an airport. Down here, it looks like this is supposed to be a runway marked out with little dirt tracks. Or maybe an old airport, abandoned airport maybe. I don't know. But there we are. I knew I would find it if I gave it a few moments. And finally, of course, the most important thing of all, if we come up here and find ourselves a road. There we go, there's a road over here going through the trees. And with these anarchy settings, there are no trees going through the road. So finally, a little bit of justice for Luca. Justice for Luca. Yes, that's what we want. Anyway, there we go. That was... what was this map called? And the Po Valley by Luca, as revealed in What's Map 595. And so on with today's map. And if you've skipped to this point, you have missed the treat, but welcome. It was worth skipping to. It is a very good map today. Okay, are you ready? Are you holding tight? Here we go. Today's map is Oslo by MrMiyagi and funchenstein. Mass transit required by MrMiyagi and funchenstein. Names that you should recognise. MrMiyagi no less, because they've been around a long while. They're one of the nice guys on the workshop. There's your start square, by the way. And they make playable maps. That's what they do. That's their job. There's your resources, all fertility everywhere. Let's have a little look at the workshop. And it is a mass transit DLC map. It does actually say it in the title, so you should know by now. Unlimited trees, because there's 1 million plus of them. The not so rocky map hills theme, and then a few trees and bits. There is no prescribed LUT, so we'll be using the realistic 1.2. So anyway, that's MrMiyagi. Funchenstein, what do we know about Funchenstein is, well, if you're watching City Edition, the new city being reviewed there, Coruña and Nova, that's Funchenstein. So yeah, and also is a native to the area that we're looking at here, which is Oslo, within the great country of Norway. First point of order, nice roundabout, nice slick there. I've got a minor issue with this roundabout, but I'm going to ignore it because we are running well, so far behind, and I've got a million other things I want to show you here. The standards on today's map are excellent, by the way. Like this tunnel, can you see what's wrong with it? Nothing, right? Nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with this tunnel. But okay, right, I'm going to be really picky because it's MrMiyagi and funchenstein. Look at the slight elevation as we go into the tunnel. Now, that's going to be okay if we're actually elevating. So if we're going uphill here by a few meters, this is going to be worth doing. So let's have a little look. Call up the terrain mod and choose terrain height. That's that one there. Right click where that tunnel goes in, right there. 136.9, so basically 137 is the height there. And over here, let's check the height over here. 138.4, 137.7. So basically a meter elevation is what we're looking at. And is a meter justifying an increase in terrain like that as we go? I mean, possibly geological reasons for doing it, but given that there is no geology underneath the mesh, I don't think that's really an essential thing. I was just loading this up here so I could try and work out how much it elevated, but couldn't really make it out using the tool there. So anyway, you can see slight elevation, certainly more than a meter going up there, and yeah. Now that's the standards that I'm expecting today. We're talking about excellent creators, so any tiny minor things. Oh, by the way, I like this intersection. I like this a lot. See, you got the road coming into Oslo here. It splits. You can take one of two directions going in, but they all do connect up via this cross highway here. It's a really nice, well, bit of urban planning, I think. Whether or not it's the most effective, I don't know. Let's check these tunnels. See, perfectly flat. Perfectly flat. I like that tunnel. Where does it come out? It comes out over here. There's going to be lots of pillars now, isn't there? Lots of pillars. Shall we have a look? Nah, I can't see any pillars going on here. I do have a problem though with this. We've skipped the first roundabout because this one's worse. Okay, you're driving up here and you want to take a right turn. Well, that's a hell of a right turn. It's really sharp. Okay, good for traffic calming, I guess. Oh, please turn right. 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 Please, 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 please. Oh, it's slowing right down there, but there you go. Now, if you're going to get busy in this area, that is going to another one. Look, he's turning right as well. The traffic is slowing right down. That is going to cause some traffic flow issues if this becomes a busy area on your city. Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be? Okay, we're going to follow the road along anyway, see if it leads anywhere interesting. Elevated section over the rail. And is it high enough? I think so. Yeah, I'm not even going to go in there. You can see that. Perfect bridge over here. This is about as big a bridge as you would like without a pillar underneath it. And so I'm happy to let that go quite happily. And more tunnels with perfectly flat entrances. Really happy about those as well. Dirt track, where does that go? Let's have a quick look from a distance. Through some fields and off into the forests. Okay, we're just going to ignore that. Again, we're so far behind today that I can't really go and explore every single corner. We'll just look at the overall view, and you can probably work out instantly anyway if you like this map. I already know that I do. This intersection, similar issues to the roundabout, similar in that this intersection here at the end, if you drive up here and you want to take a left at the top, you've got a hard angle against you, and also if you're turning left from the slip ramp here, you've got a hard turning again. Good for traffic calming. We've also got a pillar which is being a little bit naughty down there, haven't we? Now, I don't mind it too much. It's doing its job, and in real life I have seen this. I have seen it. So but anyway, it's just short of perfection. If we're worrying about a 5th star for detailing, that might be the thing that costs it 5 stars. But overall, I mean, it's not a horrific thing. It is a pillar doing its job, and we'll settle for that, shall we? Okay. Onwards, cross country, and through another perfect. Oh no, they're not perfectly aligned. They're slightly out, just slightly midgely out. Those ones. Down to this. Now, I like this intersection. Again, it's a nice looking flowing intersection. 2 roads crossing over each other. Everything seems very slick and very smooth, and there are no pillars in the roads, and there is no street light clipping either. Or is there? Yes, there is. Fail. Okay, it's not in the lane, but I would still be concerned if I was driving my car about that. Just a little bit. Oh, where were we? Ah, yeah, now we're heading down towards the start square, and about time too. About time too. 23 minutes into today's show, and we haven't reached the start square, but we will shortly. Perfect bridge. Of course, it's a perfect bridge, we would expect no less. And nice highways again, really lovely work cutting down and through towards another perfect bridge. It's a lovely, glorious map, isn't it? It's glory to behold. If not the most stunningly beautiful map, doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be. Surely, as a city builder, you can do your own stunnifying. Stunnifying? Stunnification, that's the word. You can do your own stunnification. There, now we're in the start square now. We have got a dead end here, but also traffic running right through it, through the tunnels. Where does that go? And the answer is roughly where we started, actually. No, we were off in that direction when we started the little tour. Right, so anyway, a roundabout here, which means we are in the start square, which means we can have a little look-see at today's asset of the day. Now this one, it's 5 in 1. It's Rathaus Passage, one or the other, Alexanderplatz, Berlin, Germany, by Luminu. Luminu producing great stuff. This one, it's not one asset, it's 5, it's a pack, and therefore you can put together your own shape and style of buildings. And I'm going to do a little bit of playing with it in a moment in high-speed time-lapse, just to show you just a random silly thing that you could do. Just silly. This is more realistic, yeah. Factoids. Because factoids. The first Romanian World Cup, this is Soccer World Cup team, was personally selected by King Carol. First of all, a king called Carol. Of course, I know it's a boy's name in that part of the world. But yes, King Carol, personally selected. No, they didn't win the World Cup. They never have, actually. But anyway, yes, there we go. That's something that you could do instead. Rathaus Passage, Alexanderplatz, Berlin, Germany by Luminu. Lots of things you can do with that one. Lots of fun to be had. As we head back to MrMiyagi and Funchenstein's Oslo. Mass transit required by MrMiyagi and Funchenstein. It's easy for searching. Let's face it, if you're on the workshop and you want to find the MrMiyagi map, you don't need to find this account, you just got to find MrMiyagi. And now you can do that with Funchenstein as well. It's so much fun. Anyway, rail. Is there going to be anything wrong with the rail? Is there going to be any pillars on the lines? Is there going to be any encroaching trees? Is it going to be flat-ish, flat enough to be believable? Yes, it definitely is flat enough to be believable. Is this pillar on the line? Well, strictly speaking, no. But I would say that's encroaching. I would say that is a fail. Okay, definitely not getting 5 stars for detailing. Is this tree encroaching? Nah, it's fine. It looked like it was, but it's not. So there we are. But yes, a pillar almost misbehaving. Right, so rail isn't too bad. It's not too bad. Now it's going to get interesting. And it's going to meet up with a main line. You thought that was main line? No, this is the main line. And it gets mighty fun here as we head across towards the river. A river crossing. These are going to be perfect bridges. So I'm not even going to zoom in on those. Love the way the catenaries are all perfectly aligned as well. That's a nice little touch. Where does our rail line disappear to? The answer is over here. But we're down to 2 lines. We're down to 2. Anybody wondering where those other 2 lines went to? Is anybody there wondering where those other 2 lines went to? I know I am. I'm worried and curious.
Have you ever wanted to create a snow scene in your summer city, but you're not interested in buying the Snowfall DLC? Then you need the Beginner's Guide to Snow Without DLC by BonBonB. Click the information button now.
But before we worry about the rail, let's have a look at the shipping routes. And we have shipping routes. This is Oslo. There is shipping. They all go into all the, I was going to say nooks and crannies, but they're not really fjords, but harbours. You know what I mean. Anyway, they go there. But there is a little bit of a problem, like this really sharp angle here. Anything coming in from the right, wanting to go left, it's going to do a really tight turn. But we also cross over here as well, which means that any ships coming straight in, wanting to go straight off of the map, are going to do a really tight turning at that point there. On to the water flow, and we have some rivers. They are light flow rivers, but they do work as rivers, and that is fine, especially as the rivers aren't actually your main source. But I'm just checking to see the water is definitely flowing. It's not flowing back, because if there is backflow, then if you decide to use these for sewage, you do get a bit of a problem. But the water does flow out the rivers fine. But if we go to the start square area, which is over here, you can see we've got some water spawn points in there, pushing the water out and taking away any sewage that you pump straight into the sea there. Switch the terrain lines on now so you can see that it's not a perfectly flat map, but it's pretty flat. It's just a little bit of undulation. One of those things that I think adds a little bit of gameplay fun. If you're looking for perfectly flat, this is not the map for you. But you should grow up. You don't need to have perfectly flat land, surely. Surely not. Let's have a look, see if we can find things. Can we find things? Oh yes, here's the rail. Now it's gone from 4 lanes down to 2 lines. 2 lines is there, and the 4 lines over here, it basically collapses down immediately that it goes underground. So that's where our 2 lines went to. And it's nice, it keeps it tidied away. But yes, the catenaries aligned is definitely a plus point. Canals, raised edges look nice along here. On the angles though, it's hard to do anything perfect because of the way the game renders, but that is still a little bit lumpy for my liking. Not quite shark's teeth, more like baby shark's gums possibly going on there. What more do we have? We've got these aren't too bad actually. There was a bit of harbour area that was 20 meters tall. I'm looking around for it now and I can't find it now, but it doesn't matter. We do have some very nice beaches though, or hints to beaches. There's nothing really too much to say about them. And the hedgerows on the farms, once again, they're not strictly realistic, but you know what, I like them because they do have a real feel to them. Definitely prefer that to the prop line tool hedges, and all credit for that. I'm prepared to accept that. What else do we have? Now this river. Okay, let's have a look at the river. The river looks okay, but in places it gets a little bit narrow and low. If we go up a little bit further, we're going upstream here, it's getting wider in places. And here, like here, we've got hardly anything at all, and the game has been running for a little while, I promise you on that one, so the water has had time to settle down. And then if we go up to the bridge here, it's quite wide, so there's a little bit of a river issue going on there. Nothing that couldn't easily be fixed with a couple of water spawn points. Okay, your chance to vote on the map. Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month to find the best of the maps for the month as voted by you. And last month's show is now up and on the channel, so do be sure to go and check that one out. Find out what the best maps of last month were. Will this be in this month's top 10? Yeah, of course it will. Of course it will. It's got to be. Aesthetically, it's really a very nice indeed. I like it. I like it. It's not a 5-star map. I don't think it really tries to be, but it's glorious enough to get a very strong 4 stars out of me. Detailing, is it weak enough to drop into that 3-star category? The answer is no. There are a few minor hiccups, but it's still a good 4 stars for detail. Gameplay potential, MrMiyagi, you have done it again. You've done it again. It's a 5-star map for gameplay. 1 or 2 things you might want to look at, but nothing that is game breaking. It's very enticing to want to play this map, so therefore I'm going to give it the 5 stars, even though there may be a possible traffic issue, regarding the roundabouts or the turnings off the roundabouts, but it still gets the BonBonB seal of approval. Well done, guys. Lovely map, you two. Lovely map. And another one from MrMiyagi coming very soon. It's already up on the workshop and in the charts, but I don't want to do 2 in the same week, so we'll do that sometime next week. Right, thank you very much for watching, for commenting, for liking and for subscribing, and to all the BonBon buddies over on Patreon, thank you very much for your support. It's really good to have you on board. There's a new map coming along tomorrow. It's an old map, it's a request map, and our City Edition Part 2 tomorrow. Don't miss that one. Some more funchenstein, fun with funchenstein. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day, and thanks for sticking around to the end.